we got to play clean, and it's got to be, you know, all the way through. And proud of the things that we did, but we still got work to do.
Missouri Western is 2-2 after a 66-16 win Saturday against Northeastern State. Good evening. Welcome into Griffon Sports Spotlight on News Press Now. I'm your host, Brandon Zenner. He is Coach Matt Williamson. Now, first of all, Coach, just getting back in the win column after a rough one of it 2 weeks ago at UCM. It's just got to feel good to get back in the win column, doesn't it?
Always good to get back in the win column, you know, especially after coming, you know, poor performance the week before. Didn't really show up, kind of laid an egg, and it was very disappointing. Our kids had a little chip on their shoulder, and they were ready to go. Practice well all week, and turned out with a good W on last week.
And with that performance that you did, a lot of positives we talked about. How do you take those positives from a team like Northeastern State who has struggled and apply those going forward when you've got a lot of big games coming up that can determine how the season's going to go?
Well, we continue to work on our positives, and then also work on your strengths as well to our positive. We've been able to stop the run really well on defense. And then we've been able to run the ball pretty good on offense. The passing game on both aspects, defensively and offensively, have been areas that we've kind of been hit or miss a little bit throughout the season so far. So we've got to continue to produce in those areas, practice those, get better, but also strengthen up the areas that we're good in as well too. And I think we put all those things together and clean up a few things on special teams, we'll have some more success.
As you heard by the score, 66-16 was the final score. No shortage of highlights in this one from your guys' offense as well as defensively. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from this one. Griffon's back at home under the lights of Spratt Stadium, taking on Northeastern State. Military Appreciation Day. Coach, that got to be cool for you.
Absolutely. You know, obviously you had John Bailey, a few past alum that kind of walked down with us, and then a very good friend of mine, Sergeant First Class Bobby Smith.
And then you guys have a big American flag taking up the field, even honoring a veteran during the pregame ceremony. First drive, you guys get it going. Shamar Griffith getting into open space. He is always electric. That is a huge pickup. I thought that was going to be his first score, but he needs one more carry to do so. And this one, it would be his first score in a Griffon uniform. How happy are you for him, Coach?
Oh, he was jacked. I was jacked. The whole team was. It was about time for him to get in there. So he's worked so hard. He deserved it. And there's going to be a lot more times he's going to be getting in there.
What's the punishment for that celebration right there?
We let him go on that one. That's all right. I'm fine with that. He's a great kid. He's unbelievable to have around the office. Always got a smile on his face, and I'd take 100 of him.
And then Dom Marino getting in the action, escaping 2 tackles, a big gain there, and that's going to set up Luke Vang, who's really coming on for you guys. He gets in the end zone there.
Yeah, he's got great hands. He had transferred for us, and he's came in and does a really good job, blocks really well, and he's very, very versatile where we can get him the ball, throw him the ball, and he can score, as you can see he did there.
And then it just keeps going. James Bailey Jr. begins his big night, this big burst. Gets him going, really, his first lengthy run of the season right there, and then later in the drive, this passing game, this is what you like to see. Dom Marino, Keelan Mack, and he does the rest, Coach.
Yeah, Keelan's been great for us all year. He's made a lot of big catches. He's electric as well, too. You just give him a little bit of space. He's got great hands. Our offensive line protected really, really well for Dom. He felt really comfortable in the pocket, and we had a lot of success in the passing game.
Now you guys lead 21-0 after the first quarter. You're cruising. On to the second half. Shamar is going to have a carry here, and he just shows off his great vision, just finds the right holes and gets in there for a second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, he just sees it. He sees a lot better than everybody else does, and he just cuts and he gets vertical, and he had a lot of success.
It's amazing how well he can see because he can hide behind his offensive lineman and still.
Yeah, a lot of people don't see him. Yeah, they don't see him, and he sees a lot. So it was fun to watch.
A big play at the night for Northeastern, a big 52-yard pass down to the one. What happened there, Coach?
Yeah, we got in a bad situation. We didn't get pressure right there. They got into an empty package. A little bit bad technique by Jabbar and his scooch technique, but we got to pressure it quicker and make him throw the ball quicker.
But then you guys show it off too. Luke Vang, looking at that pass by Wyatt, that catch, Coach, you gotta like that.
I hadn't seen that in slow mo yet. That was a pretty dang good catch. I mean, I saw it live, but it looks a lot tougher there. So no, Wyatt made a really good pass, put it in a point where no one else could catch it except for the receiver, and he went up there and got it and got his second touchdown.
So Griffons go on to win 66-16. Back to 2-2 on the season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team stats for this one. You guys really have your breakout rushing game. That 326 yards on the ground, 115 from James Bailey. You got to like what you guys were able to do on the ground on Saturday.
Yeah, it was everybody ran well, and give credit to our offensive line and our tight ends. They did a great job picking up. They ran a 3 downs, a little bit of a bigger package as well too. Did a great job moving guys off. And then our division of the backs were really, really good and talented, and we've got 4 good ones. So at any time, those guys can score and have success.
And 286 to the air, but I know that penalty yards. I hate to bring it up to you, but it has been a problem for 2 of the 4 games this year. Coach, what are you guys doing to shore that up going into a big game this week?
Yeah, we've got to do a lot. I mean, because that can't happen. A good team like we're facing this week, Washburn or any other team that we face the rest of this conference, you can't do that. You're not going to win football games. That would be a 14-point swing easily in any football game of a very talented team. So we've addressed it. We talked to it. We're going to do some things in the locker room and some different things that we're going to get that cleaned up. But I told I was upset. My wife kind of lifted me up. I was just devastated. I felt like I lost because we'd had so many penalties. That's not what I want Missouri Western football to be. I want to win like we did, the scores, but I don't want the penalties. It just made it the game not fun to watch. I mean, for me.
Mm-hmm. And then we talked last week the struggle on 3rd down at UCM. Got to love the effort on Saturday night. 9 of 14. That's going to help you stay in a lot of ball games playing like that on 3rd down.
Yeah, definitely. If you can move the chains on 3rd down, you're going to win a lot of football games. So, and that was one thing we have struggled with. And like I said, the offensive line did a great job protecting. Dom did a great job reading. He was in a flow, probably the best that I've seen him probably all year, just flowing and being on point with everything, making his checks and seeing things. So that was good to see. We just got to continue to push that to the next level.
Then your rush defense stays potent, 54 yards only for the Riverhawks. Now, I have a couple guys I want to talk about. Shamar Griffon, we kind of talked about him. He's been one of the steady pieces for you all year long, one of the best yards per carry averages in this conference. He was all in my AA last year, but even I gave him a hard time going into the season. He had yet to find the end zone. Talk about the kind of kid that he is and what it meant for him to have the success that he's had, and especially paying off with finding the end zone and being able to celebrate with his teammates.
He's an explosive kid. Very electric, but his stature's not big, and I think that's why a lot of schools kind of overlooked him a little bit. A lot of times they do. And when we went and met the kid, and I met him in person, I'm like, slam dunk, I want that kid on our team. He's got a military family, he's raised in the military, and he just does everything right. He's on point, he knows it, his knowledge of the game. And then you can't coach vision. It's just natural or it's not, and he just has that, and that's one of the gifts he's been given. And it's been fun to watch him, and he's going to continue to get better and better. And he's gained like 15 pounds since he got here as well too. So every year he'll gain about 10, 15 pounds, and by his senior year he's going to be big and thick, and he's going to be definitely really hard to tackle in.
And I saw a video with him and Dom. It sounded like I'm not the only one that had been giving him a hard time for not getting the end zone. It sounds like Greg Carbon, your guys' strength coach, had been as well as some guys on the staff.
I think everybody, just kind of one of those things. It's like, man, he's really, really good, but he hadn't scored. I'm sure he's communicated with it, but it just kind of all that stuff, because we've got such a great locker room. Everybody kind of jokes around with another. That's the environment that I want, is we kind of poke fun on one another and have a good liven things up. And it was time for that to happen, and he made it happen. So now he can't get picked on anymore for that.
He's been a guy who just does things right from day one. What kind of examples does he set for the guys that are coming into this program?
Oh, it's great. James Bailey that just came in the program as well too. He watches him, how he works, how he does things, and they communicate and work together. And it's a program builder that's we've created since we've gotten here. And anybody else that's new that's come in, and he's one of those guys. But hey, man, come on, let's do this. I'll show you how to do this. And he's very instructional with the young kids as well too. Just a great kid to have on the squad.
You just talked about James. Talk about bringing him in. He was a guy who had a heck of a senior season at William Chrisman under Scorpio Horn. He goes to Western Illinois, decides he wants to come back closer to home. What did it take to get him here?
Well, obviously Coach Horn had a relationship with him a little bit, obviously coaching him there, but wasn't really happy at Western Illinois, wanted to get back a little bit closer to home, and we moved him, we took him open arms, and he's been a blessing as well too. He's a great kid, doesn't say much, hardly at all, unless you ask him a question. It's usually one word answer, but from that point on, he'll go out there and work, and he does work, and he pounds. He's a big physical body. I mean, he's just a physical kid, as you can see. Yeah. He's going to get 4 or 5 extra yards once someone wraps onto him from the side. If you get him in front, he'll get a couple yards. You get him from the side, he's going to go for about 4 or 5 more. So that's always good to have as well too. It puts a pounding and wear and tear on the defenses that you're going against.
And if you can add that to your offensive arsenal with Don Marino in that passing game, and him, Shamar, Derek, you have a bunch of pieces you can get in. At getting him in rhythm, what can that do for this offense?
I think it's unbelievable. I mean, with him and Shamar, just like you're talking about, we've got a lot of weapons. We just haven't put them all together yet. We've just kind of been hodgepodge a little bit. The confidence was. We continue to grow as this team and understand the offense and what we're trying to do, I think we'll continue to get better and better and better. That's what we want to do, get better every single week. If we do, we'll continue to have success. And
then your defense showed up pretty good against Northeastern State, holding to 16 points, 6 sacks. Talk about your passing game, though, from Wyatt and from Dom. Kind of one of the better efforts since you've been here in that passing game. What did you see from those guys? Dom Marino leading the charge, and then Wyatt in that reserve role.
He just felt comfortable. You know, it might have been a deal like we've pressed him and both Wyatt a whole bunch, and you got to study more. You got to study more, so it comes quicker, and it's more of a reaction than it is trying to read and stuff. They got to be able to react, and I think they put a little bit more time at it, a little bit more emphasis. They understood what we were trying to accomplish, and they were able to make that happen as we went along. Great protection by our offensive line as well too. They dropped 8, which makes it a little bit not as much pressure, but also a little bit harder to read and where to throw. But he had throws. He hit the throws that we needed to, where he's kind of missed few. So we've continued, like I talked about the last couple weeks, about fixing his technique and how he does stuff to make sure that his throws are precise. And then with Wyatt coming in, really, really excited to see him. He's a very, very good passer, throws the ball really well, and he ran the ship really well when he got in as well, so didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, Wyatt came in 4 for 6, 3 of those completions going for touchdowns. Now we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll take a look ahead to Week 5, a big home matchup as the Griffons stay at the Spratt to face Washburn. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.
Hey, partner. I take this partnership thing very seriously. Big day for us, buddy. Hey, Cole, you're on fire. No, man, we both crushed it. No, you are literally on fire. Your arm. Oh, jump! Maybe we should have different styles. Yours is working out really well for you.
Lethal Weapon premieres Tuesday.
I knew I should have retired.
On Fox.
Colton, can you spell the word yes, please? That's not how you spell yes.
AIS spells yes.
I did it to look and feel great because I had high cholesterol.
I did it because I could eat real food and still lose weight.
Whatever your reason, let the new Slim for Life Breakthrough program help you get past setbacks and barriers so you keep losing the weight. Visit slimforlife.com and get Slim for Life.
Right now, lose up to 40 pounds for $59 and up to 80 pounds for $99. All services included.
Thomas Sullivan Magnum. That's me.
Magnum, whatever you're planning, don't.
Too late for that.
Magnum.
Yeah.
Bring the call back in one piece.
Welcome to the party.
Sure you don't want to go?
Thanks, but I'd rather not watch you get eaten by a shark today.
Wouldn't be me. They go for the white meat first.
Ha
Time to go.
Magnum PI, new CBS Mondays this fall.
Welcome back into Griffon Sports Spotlight on News Press Now. I'm Brandon Center here alongside Western football coach Matt Williamson. Griff coming off Military Appreciation Day win against Northeastern State. 2-2 now, back at home, Week 5 against the Washburn Ichabods. They're also 2-2. Now, this game last year, you guys came, I think you guys ended the game with 21-24 unanswered points there. And I remember you guys talking about after the game, it felt like you guys came out with a victory in that locker room, and you guys kind of just saw what that kind of momentum could do for this program. What do you remember from this game last year, and kind of how did that help you guys?
Just I think we try not to talk about the past too much because they got a new team, they got new players, we got new players as well too. But they were at our place and they beat us. I would say that's one thing, you got to win at home. You have to at the Spratt, you got to win, and that's one thing that kind of stuck in our chest a little bit. So we're gonna have to puff our chests off a little bit and play real physical, play real passionate. it. And it's a really good football team. We're a very, very good football team. They, obviously beat Central Missouri last week as a team that we didn't really show up and play. So it's going to be a great competition, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Now, Coach Sherg always has his boys ready. One of the better coaches in this area, in this conference. They had to play a backup quarterback last week. His son actually taking over. Just what did you see from them in that game against Central Missouri? They beat the Mules 28-21 on Saturday. What did you see from the Ichabods?
Well, like you said, Coach Sherg is a very good coach. He's very fundamentally based. He does some really good things. But he gets his kids to play hard, and so when you lose somebody, if you lose this person or the quarterback or a really good defensive player, you kind of, they didn't miss a beat. They just kind of continued on. His son came in and played really well as well too. So we're going to have to do, offensively, they've got quite a bit of talent. Their offensive line is good. They got some big tight ends. Quarterback situation, they've got two that, they can play. The running back runs hard. Defensively, they've got two really, really talented linebackers that I like a bunch. Their defensive line up front. They've been changed a little bit between a 4-3 and a 3-4 a little bit. I think maybe a little bit of their depth as a defensive line. It was an issue, but they've got a good secondary too. So it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be fun to watch, but we got to prepare. We got to get ready to go.
Now they follow you guys in scheduling. They started with Lindenwood. You guys end with Lindenwood. They've played that gauntlet that you had the first 3 weeks. They had that weeks 2 through 4 with Northwest, with Fort Hays, with UCM. They came out of that stretch 1 and 2. What did you see from them in that stretch? Because you guys have a lot of common opponents to kind of look at in the field.
Yeah, it's very comparable. I'd say. I mean, they've done some really good things, and they line up and they play really good, hard-nosed football, and they get in the right places. They stay in the right places, and they make tackles and they make plays when they need to. So, obviously them having success against Central. They were up real early against Northwest and kind of got beat, beat at the end. They're a very competitive team. They got a lot of drive and they got a lot of want to, and whoever wants it more is going to be the team that wins.
Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape. It's going to be a very even matchup across the board when you look at the stats. Washburn, they're in the middle of the pack in literally every stat that you can find. Very even keel team. Now they beat UCM and Lindenwood so far this year. They're 2-2. Those stats, I mean, they look very, very similar. Just their offense. What problems does the Ichabod offense present?
Well, I think they're sound, and they take advantage of some of your weaknesses. And every defense has a weakness, and I think the coaches do a really good job getting their kids lined up, preparing them and reading them, and then trying to take advantage of those weaknesses. And what you have to do as a defensive coordinator, you've got to adjust and give them some different looks so they can't tee off on those weaknesses just because everyone has it. And I think they're schematically wise, they do a good job lining up, and they've been able to move people off the ball a little bit as well too, and have some success with their offensive line and running the ball and then just being able to throw. It's just a real complete team, and that's we feel that we are as well too if we put everything together. We've got to put it together and to have success.
How do you attack this defense? I know you guys want to continue to build on that running game. How do you attack the Ichabods?
I like to wear them out, just kind of continue to, we're going to out-physical you. We want to push you and move you back off the line of scrimmage. I know, as you can see, their defensive line is a little bit thin, so that's why they go to the 3 down every once in a while. Let's just continue to run the ball, use the clock up, time management, and put some pressure on their defense a little bit to where they're gassed and where they're not wanting anymore. And if we can get them to that situation, take some shots, be able to drop back, convert 3rd downs, we'll be real successful.
You're going to be in front of your home crowd, which was electric. 5,500 fans out there on Saturday. You guys got off to that great offensive start, 21 points in your first 3 drives. In big games like this, it's important to get those points early. How do you continue that early game success and establish that momentum early and not get behind in this ball game?
Well, so you always have to address something. Like if something's not working or something's not happening, and you look at the stats or you look at this or that, you have to address it. You have to go right at it and figure. And that was one thing I talked as soon as I walked into our team meeting when we started talking about Northeastern. Is that we've got to get out of the gate. We've got to start playing from play 1. And we got to be full go. It can't be like we're warming up, because that's kind of what we did. Because you looked at our second quarter stats from the previous games, we were a lot better that first quarter. So it was a vision, it was a drive, it was a goal that our whole team bought into. And as you watched, it was absolutely fun to watch them go boom, 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 all the way down the field 3 times in a row. And then it was good. So that's what we have to do this week as well too. We've got to continue with that. but you always add on. Every week to week, you're trying to add and gain more and get better in all the different facets of the game. And if you can continue to do that, your team will continue to grow. And so we have to do that as a unit, and it's on top of us as head coach and as our assistant coaches to push our kids, see how far we can push them.
Well, again, Griffon football takes on Washburn 7 p.m. on Saturday at the Spread. Best of luck this week, Coach. Thanks for joining me. Now, coming up, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Western soccer coach Chad Edwards. His team coming off the biggest win in program history. Look at those ups. We'll talk with Chad and much more after the break. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.
Join us for the 7th annual Pony Express Run on Saturday, September 29th at 8 a.m. Whether it's a 5K, half marathon, or a fun run for the kids, choose a race that's right for you. Proceeds for this event benefit the Junior League of St. Joseph and our charity partner, the United Way of Greater St. Joseph. Find our page on Facebook or visit ponyexpressrun.org for race maps and other event information. The 2018 Pony Express Run, September 29th at 8 a.m., sponsored by Ad Astra Running.
Next, Pickler and Ben, fashion expert Carson Kressley works his magic.
That is a different person.
Love the haircut.
Get a fall refresh perfect for your style. Then, the party rolls on. Chef Manit Chauhan.
It's like you guys are my personal chef.
Makes her favorite meal.
Indian scrambled eggs. This is really good.
Plus.
So you were born in Korea and you grew up in the U.S.
Then he discovered he's not alone.
It's that kind of shock that there's no words.
Are you ready?
Two brothers meet for the first time right here.
To me, you are every part my son.
We will not let this break us.
Mrs. Pearson, your husband has died. I want my kids to be okay. I want my family to be okay.
I wish for a baby.
I met the girl.
You met a girl?
No, the girl.
Nominated for 8 Emmys, This Is Us returns Tuesday on NBC.
Intensity and the energy and the spirit of this Griffon football team, and it's going to continue to grow and become more and more powerful.
Soldier, keep on marching on.
Coach, I know you love the sound of that because that means you guys are coming off of victory. Chad Edwards joins me, continuing this historic stretch for women's soccer. They get to the regionals for the first time last year. Now you knock off #1 Central Missouri with a 1-0 win Friday. I know you would have loved to finish the weekend with a win against Lindenwood. Come out of that weekend 2-0 to start off MIAA play, 1-0. But just talk about that win Friday. What can that do for a program when you knock off the #1 team in the country?
Yeah, what an incredible moment for our players and our program, and and for our alumni as well, right? Like we had, Central Missouri is obviously an amazing program. We have the utmost respect for Coach Theobald and the staff and the program that he's created there. They've won the league 8 years in a row and set the standard for a long time. And it wouldn't be such a huge game if it wasn't for them, right? Mm-hmm. And being #1 in the country and undefeated and coming off a national championship and continuing that success. What they've done there is what we dream of doing here. They've in not being shut out for over 50 games. That's an incredible accomplishment. So credit to them and utmost respect to them. And our kids just came and played really well that night. They executed at a high level. We talked about in key moments, executing, and that's what's going to have to happen in order for us to win that game. And our kids came up huge in key moments. Collins with the goal, in the 30th minute there, that was awesome. We talked about having a better identity on set pieces. And to do that against the best team in the country, to get that early goal was huge for us. And I thought we played really well that first half and kind of set the tone for the game. But you knew, a quality team like that's going to come at you, and they're going to find ways to get chances. They have really good players, all-American players, and we're going to have to stay focused in and locked in, and you're going to have to make big plays, and that's what we talk. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and we had a number of people do that.
And last year you guys had so much success on set pieces, and to do it in that first half with Sarah Collins.
Yeah, incredible moment for her. She's worked really hard over the course of the off season and into the summer, and really wants to make this a special season, and that'll be a moment that she remembers forever, and we'll remember forever as a group. That was really cool, and great ball in from Mac, and we created a lot of corners early in that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're able to execute off of this one and take the lead. And it's rare that you take the lead that early in a game against such a good team, and but then the pressure is to maintain it, right? And and for the next the next 15 minutes of that half, and 60 minutes, that's a long time to keep a team out of the back of the net that scored in 50-some consecutive games. But just loved our kids' presence that night. I loved the energy. I loved the attitude, and we executed when we needed to. And also, what an amazing environment, too.
500 fans out there.
It was so cool. Our students brought it, our fans brought it. And we've always been fortunate to have, great fan support and so forth. It was just extra special that night, as you can see there. Incredible from our kids. And I'm thankful for all of our coaches and our student athletes that came out that night, and all of our fans. Just made it a great night. It was beautiful out. Just everything that you dream of as a coach and as a player that you want to play in that environment, that happened Friday night. It was just so cool to see our kids make the most of the moment and opportunity and win a really big game.
And then just real quickly, we got a couple of seconds left. Tell me about this team. You guys are coming together, replacing some all-region players and Paige Phipps, Sydney Cluck, Bridget Blessy, those kind of girls. How do you see this team going forward?
That's been a big talk, is that we have 16 players coming in and 15, and I've just been really proud of how the kids have come together as a group. The chemistry off the field's been awesome, and that translates on the field. And we're still, working through some things. It's still early in the season. We still have the majority of our season to go. So it'll, but our challenge is to continue to grow as a group on and off the field. And if we continue to do that and execute in those moments, we'll be successful as we go forward here through the rest of the season.
Now, if it was up to me, you and me, we'd have an hour-long show all by ourselves.
Yeah, being a soccer guy you are, I'm proud of you, buddy. Yeah. I always love being with you, talking soccer. There's some people on our campus, Mindley, maybe not soccer guy, but no, I really appreciate all your support and coverage. It's been awesome.
And Western's 5-3, 0-1 MIAA. Back at it Friday and Saturday at home. Thanks for joining me, Coach. Best of luck this week. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on News Press Now.